For My Hero, I really wanted to have a live orchestra recording. I felt like it was something that I hadn't seen done on a lot of student film projects, and I felt like doing that would be something that would really improve the quality of the film itself.
It was probably February, and I wasn't sure if I had time to do it, and they asked me if I could do it in about a month. And when I heard that, I was like, I don't know how to do this. But I think like one of the biggest things about this project is just like having tenacity and going out and do it.
It was so cool to be able to sit down with these people who are specialized in that and to be able to say, well, in this segment of the movie, I want it to feel innocent because we have kind of this boyish youth where he has his action figures and all these different things that he has no worries in the world in the beginning of the film. And then to talk about how that's going to drop off at this specific moment. And so as I would discuss that, I don't know how, but somehow this music that would be written is carrying all of those emotions in it. So I would just sit down with Richard Williams and say, look, this part's going to be innocent and youthful and happy, and this part here needs to be a little bit more sad and reflective, and he would just go in and write these pieces that would accompany that, and it really was a great experience.
So one of the hard things about Change from MIDI Orchestra was, MIDI sound has a certain sound, and like for example, I might load up a string patch, and I could play, like I play the piano, all my fingers down. It might sound fine, but when you translate to an orchestra, you have 5 specific string parts. You have the bass, cellos, violas, and 2 violin parts, and so you have to start thinking who's going to play what and if the balance is right. I think what's helped me a lot is I've looked at like traditional scores like Beethoven, Mozart, and I've just looked at what are some of the patterns that are going on, and that's helped me kind of to tune in. I wasn't sure if I was going to use an orchestra in the first place, so I wasn't sure if I was supposed to think that way. But when we got the go to use it, then I wasn't sure about a lot of things. Balance issues, if just one viola line playing a long note is enough balance. But I just went with it, and I was really eager to see what it sounded like when I got there. And I think for the most part, a lot of those little things I was worried about weren't too much of a problem. I think for the most part, most of the things, are just little things that don't make a huge difference in the long run.
Honestly though, thinking about it, I don't think that I said a lot of negative things about the music. I almost felt like a cheerleader because I was just like, yes, this is great, keep going.
You gotta pick the brain of the director and ask him as many questions to figure out what he's thinking. Sometimes they don't have an idea, which kind of leaves it open for you to suggest some things. And sometimes they do have a specific idea, so if they do, ask them what type of music does it sound like. Ask for examples on YouTube where you can hear of music that would fit. That's what it takes to make it in this field. It's like you gotta just go out and do things. Generally speaking, things aren't going to be handed to you. And so, like in our case, I didn't even know if we could pull this off, but we worked as hard as we could. We gathered all the people, did everything we had to do to make it happen. And then, like you see, it won an award at the College TV Awards in Hollywood. So I think that's the lesson to pull off from this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It was really just magical. Like, I remember just going into the room and all the different musical people were sitting down with their violins and cellos and oboes and just all these different instruments, and it was really just, the entire atmosphere was filled with kind of this noise as everybody adjusted their instruments and all their stuff, and we were handing out all the different sheet music and paper and just getting it all ready. And then there's this moment when everybody got ready to play, and then they started going through and performing, and it was just beautiful. Like, I remember hearing it, and it just sent shivers down my spine to be able to hear this music that somebody composed, that was doing for our film, and then to hear all of these people come together and to play it and to hear it live. At that point, I really knew that we had something special there, and that all that music and everything was going to fit in so well to make this film rise to be far better than what it would have been without.